ये उधर कलर के ऊपर होगा ये सारी।
Pratik, we are all set.
Good morning, sir. How are you, sir?
Good morning, brother. Very fine. And I hope all is set there.
Yes, sir. We are ready, sir. Whenever you tell me, I can start, sir.
Okay, fine. Another 2 minutes or so, we'll start. Once
Right, sir.
yeah, Didi also joins. दीपक भाई, दीदी ज्वाइन कर चुके क्या?
जी, दीदी ज्वाइन कर चुके हैं।
ठीक है, फिर 1-2 मिनट में हम शुरू कर सकते हैं ना?
जी।
जो लिखा हुआ है अभी इसमें
घुरमड़े में सब आए?
हम बैठे।
हाँ सर, जुड़ गए हैं सर। ओम शांति। सर अनम्यूट कर लीजिए आप प्लीज।
विकास भाई पहले ये बोलेंगे ना अपने ह्यूमन मिशन
हाँ, पहले ये बोलेंगे। बिल्कुल बिल्कुल
स्टार्ट कर।
हाँ,
बाकी लोग अपना म्यूट कर लें तो अच्छा है।
ठीक है। ठीक है कर्नल प्रतीक, if you are ready you can start. We have all joined.
Right, sir. A very good morning to everyone. I'm Lieutenant Colonel Pratik Chakravarti, the Acting Contingent Commander of the Indian Force Signal Unit, UNMISS, South Sudan. And on behalf of Lieutenant General Mohan Subramaniam, Force Commander UNMISS, I welcome all attendees to this online session on enhancing inner strength for eradication of stress for UN peacekeepers, being conducted by the Security Services Wing of the Brahmakumaris Society. A similar program was conducted for UNMISS staff in September of 2023 as well, which was highly appreciated for the methods brought out in dealing with stress faced by UN peacekeepers. The program is planned for the next 3 days, and we are certain that it will be extremely beneficial for all of us this time around as well. We are extremely grateful to the Brahmakumari Society for accepting our invitation to conduct the session for us today. So without much delay, I would first like to introduce former Vice Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral S.N. Ghormade, retired. Vice Admiral S.N. Ghormade is a retired officer of the Indian Navy. He has served as the 36th Vice Chief of Naval Staff. During his illustrious career, he has held numerous prestigious appointments. He has been associated with the Security Services Wing since 2011 and has been instrumental in organizing numerous programs for them. Over to you, sir. Sir, your mic is mute, sir.
प्रतीक भाई अपना शेयरिंग बंद कर सकते तो अच्छा रहेगा अभी ना, स्क्रीन शेयरिंग कर रहे हैं।
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Aneet, can you please stop sharing the slides, please? Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir.
Okay. So good morning and Om Shanti. We greet in the beginning with Om Shanti. Om means I am, and Shanti means peace. So Om Shanti just means I am peace. And if you know that we are a soul, then I'm a peaceful soul. So it's a proud privilege for me to be here and talk to you all. Firstly, my all congratulations to all of you that you have joined early in the morning for this session. And I'm sure it will be a very, very beneficial session, as was experienced earlier in September 23. Personally, I have been doing Rajyoga meditation for the last 14 years. In 2011, I got this knowledge, and since then, I found it to be very useful in my day-to-day life, and my experiences have been very miraculous. So it's my proud privilege today to introduce Brahmakumari Rajyogini Sri Jayanti Didi, who is the additional chief of Brahmakumaris. She has over 50 years of Rajyoga meditation and has traveled widely world over as speaker, broadcaster, and emissary of peace. She is the European Director of World Spiritual University, providing divine services to 80 countries. She is the main representative at the UN office at Geneva. She has coordinated activities related to women, development, youth, and environment. She has been the advisor of the committee. She has been in the advisory committee of International Interfaith Center. She has also been the member of the executive committee of the World Congress of Faiths. Her work involves spiritual counseling, teaching, and translating. She has a unique ability of imparting deep spiritual truths with utmost clarity. We are actually fortunate to have Sister Jayanti Didi to speak to all of you, and I'm sure you will understand after you have heard her. Over to you, Jayanti Didi.
Namaskar and Om Shanti. And thank you for this warm invitation. And I'm very happy to connect with the security forces, especially the UN peacekeepers. The work that you're doing is absolutely amazing. It's commendable. It's not so easy to be in a security peacekeeping force because you're supposed to be holding the peace. And the first and foremost thing is to make sure that I have peace within myself. If there's any reaction, reactivity, or an aggression that comes out from me, I can't be part of the peacekeeping force. And so the subject is today, how can I enhance my own inner capacity to maintain a state of peace that's undisturbed, no matter how the provocation may be? Because if I step out of my remit, then of course I'm at fault. But to keep the peace and yet also make sure that there's a discipline maintained, all of this requires an immense spiritual capacity within, which is why there's so much burnout. Most people don't have that inner capacity. And so today we're going to talk about developing this inner capacity. So what is the inner being? That would be the first question, because we can see the physical form, we can identify with the rank, with the duties, we can identify with the country, we can identify with the background of all of these things, but all of these things are external. And there needs to be an awareness of the being that's actually inside this physical body that's making everything move and function. And that inner being is the soul. And different people will have different interpretations of this word, but our understanding of this word is very, very simple. It is that light that shines within, in the center of the forehead, and is the being that thinks, feels, understands, reasons, responds. It's my conscience, it's my guide, it's the one stable factor within me that's always going to support me, no matter what is going on outside and around me. And so this is the inner being we want to cultivate and empower and strengthen. And first step is to understand this inner being. And the second step is to connect it with the source so that we're able to draw extra power that we actually don't have at the moment. I'm sure all of you have a little device, if not a little device, then a bigger device. And what do you do with it? You make sure that you recharge it every single night. If you don't recharge it, no matter how advanced and sophisticated this equipment may be, it's not going to be of any service to you. In the same way, we have this amazing human chariot, this vehicle, which is remarkable. It is precious, it is unique, and this is what is going to help us defend the whole state of peace and serve not just our country, but all the nations of the world. And so, although this is very wonderful, the energy within it that makes it move, that makes it tick, that makes it operate, is this tiny, tiny point of light that I am. Now, what I'd like to do is to just have a little experiment with all of you, and I hope that you'll join me. And you don't have to close your eyes. When people think about meditation or spirituality, the first step is that they close their eyes. But the teachings of Rajyoga are such that it's a very beautiful training to be able to keep the mind focused even though my eyes are open. Why? Because you're out on the battlefield. You can't meditate with your eyes closed on a battlefield and draw the extra power that you need. But you can keep a higher consciousness with your eyes open. So we're going to practice a very different style of meditation, a unique style of meditation, which is actually very much in tune with our modern active day-to-day life. And of course, your life is even more active than most others. And the motivation that's keeping you with the UN peacekeepers is that you love peace. You would like to see peace come back to not just one country, but to the global world. And so, first step, to know yourself and to find that inner experience of peace that our senior brother Gomande was talking about. And so that inner experience of peace is not something that happens automatically. It's something that needs to be cultivated and developed and empowered. So bear with me. And what we're going to do now is keep eyes open, and you'll see this image of the point of light behind me. Well, I'll ask you to look at that so that it's an aid for your focus. When you're out there on the field, there won't be an external image or a picture for you, but you'll be able to visualize it pretty easily. So let both feet be resting on the ground so that the body is balanced. And yes, it's early morning, so you're alert and bright, and you can keep your mind very clear and your back upright and straight. All of this just helps the body come into a posture in which the body can sit for a little while without any distraction. I visualize this point of light in the center of my forehead, and I can feel the energy emerge there. And the rest of the body relaxes My shoulders come down, my feet, my legs, my arms, my shoulders, my back. Everything relaxes so that for a short while my mind can be free from concerns and issues of my physical form. I can feel this energy that I am, and I realize that I am a being of light. And in this awareness, I shine. The light of the soul is able to become brighter and brighter. And I realize that this is actually who I am. I am that inner being of light. As I tune my mind to this awareness, I discover that I'm also in tune with the source, a being of light, the same as I am, no difference, but the difference of day and night between myself and the divine, the source, the supreme, is that this being has unending peace, has infinite love, and has total truth and wisdom. These are the things I have been seeking: peace and love and truth. But somehow I haven't been able to find them outside. This is because they don't exist out there. They actually exist inside, within my own awareness. As I connect with this inner being, I'm filled with peace. And in this awareness of peace, I can feel the presence of the divine. Let yourself take from this point of light, the supreme, all the love, all the power, and all the peace that I need for myself. I hope you're able to feel a certain amount of peace through this very simple exercise. And this is something that I would recommend that you practice each morning before you go on active duty, but also through the day. Every time you hydrate your physical body, remember to hydrate the soul and spend just a few moments just going inwards and upwards, drawing that power, and that will enable you to have the strength to actually do what you need to do outwards. It's not just a philosophical idea, but it's a very practical way to recharge your own inner battery and prepare yourself for whatever the world outside is going to have you face. Without this inner power, you're not able to move in the right direction. Very often what happens is that there are feelings, there are emotions that come in, Maybe you've had some news which isn't so comfortable from home, and instead of being able to focus and concentrate on what you need to do, of course, those feelings keep coming up, which is very human. But at this moment, in the role that you play, you're not just human, you're supposed to be superhuman. And the way to be able to achieve this is to start being able to discipline my mind. Through the whole of our life, we've never been asked to do this. Parents will teach children many, many things, including values. But the whole subject of disciplining the mind is not something that is taught anymore. And so it's time to come back to our ancient truths, to the ideas that the ancient saints and seers used to teach us. And they used to tell us that the mind is like a wild horse. I don't know whether any of you have ever done horse riding or even something beyond that, horse training. But I was with a couple who were horse trainers from Australia, and they were also meditators. And in our conversation, they said, "Do you know how we train horses?" I said, "No, tell me." And they said, "We talk very kindly into the ear of the horse, so it's almost like a whisper. And we're telling the horse, you're very kind, you're very gentle, you're very compassionate, you're very obedient, and we love you a lot." So they would say sweet things to the horse so that the horse would gradually become calm and not be reactive anymore. And consistency in this message to the horse and building up that relationship meant that the horse would now be ready to do whatever the rider would ask of him and carry the person to the destination. Otherwise, the horse was just running around, going here and there, and no purpose was achieved and energy was being drained. In the same way, the mind goes here and there, and within a minute, how many places have you traveled to? How many people have you encountered in your travels? The speed with which the mind moves is faster than anything known in the physical universe. And so the speed of the mind means that it runs very, very quickly from one topic to another. Sometimes the mind is working on 12 different channels at the same time. And so it's important to be able to understand what's going on and then take charge and control the mind. Here's a question for you, and I don't want an answer from you externally, but you can think about your answer for yourself internally. And the question is, am I the master of my mind, the controller of my mind, or is my mind the master? Is it feelings and emotions that take over, or is it logic and reason and your conscience that guides you? Yeah? The question, is it the mind and feelings and emotions that rule me? Or is it logic and conscience and reason that guides me? And we like to think that human beings are creatures of reason, but by now in your experience, you must know already that that's not exactly true. Humans should be guided by reason. It should be that we are creatures of logic, but in fact, the reality is that we are not. And so what we now have to do is ensure that through practice, we allow the conscience and the buddhi, the intellect, we allow that to become empowered through the connection with the One, so that my responses are based truly on that clarity and understanding, instead of just an emotional rush of adrenaline. It's dangerous to react in your situation. It's not healthy for anyone, but especially in the role that you're playing, you need to have mastery over your feelings and emotions. So yes, something's going on at home, or something's going on in a personal relationship, but whatever that may be, now at this moment, I have to say, let me put a stop to that. I'll come back to it and I'll deal with it later. Yes, it's my responsibility to deal with it, but I'll do that later. I won't allow it to interfere in my perception of what's going on here and now. If I lose track of what's going on immediately out here in front of me, it's going to be very dangerous. Maybe I step out of line. Maybe I'm not able to do the things that I'm expected to do. I'm not able to take the responsibility in the way that I have been invested in through my training. So emotions and feelings, again, like the mind, they're part of the structure of the mind. So they move very, very quickly. So one moment I'm here, the next moment I'm there. But let me get back to that stable force within, the buddhi. And so the preparation to be out there on the field has to be first thing in the morning. Otherwise, half the day has gone or the whole day has gone. And to meditate any time is very good, of course. But especially the early morning hours are the time to prepare the self for the rest of the day. If I know that I'm prepared internally, I step onto the field with that confidence and courage. I don't have any fear, but equally, in that confidence, there's no ego, because my confidence is based on the inner qualities of the self. And the inner qualities of the self are very beautiful and powerful. They are peace, love, truth, joy, and purity. Will you remember these 5? If you have pencil and paper, I would recommend that you note down these 5 qualities, because they are the foundation for your life in all circumstances, not just out on the field, but also in your personal life with your relationships and your family. And so you know that if there's proper preparation, proper training, and proper equipment, the confidence with which you step out is very different than if you're not quite sure. I'm not quite sure whether my equipment is functioning. I haven't tested it. I'm not quite sure of what's expected of me. But if I've been through the proper training, then yes, I hold my head up high with dignity. I know what I need to do, and I have the capacity to be able to do it. And so the few short minutes of meditation that we practice was just a taster. It's just an indicator of what it is that we do within. And the more you understand this and the more you practice this, the easier it becomes and the more capable you are of dealing with anything. Sometimes it's not a question of dealing with my own anger or irritation. It's coming from outside. Other people are angry. There's injustice, and quite rightly, they're indignant and frustrated. But anger won't solve the situation. Anger will exacerbate the situation. And so what I need to do at that moment is to have so much peace within myself that it's not only peace for me, but it's peace that I can share with the others, so that those vibrations of peace are able to reach them. And instead of the mob getting more angry, your influence is calming them down. and is allowing them to understand things from the level of reason and logic. Because when a mob gets into a frenzy, it's just fear and anger. That's it. There's no reason or logic behind it. So then they don't see that you're a peacekeeper. They just see you as the other. And the other probably means that the other is the enemy. And so they don't see that you're there in their country to support them and help them. At that moment, there's darkness, an inner darkness that has come from fear and anger. And so in your role, you need to have so much peace that it's not just a quality that you have, but it's actually a power that you have. And with the power of peace, you're able to calm them down also. Many years ago, I was traveling from Haridwar to Delhi, and it was the Kumbh Mela. I'd gone there, but we had to leave early in the morning at 4 o'clock. And this is in the 80s. And that place that we were passing through, we'd already been traveling 2 hours. And it was one of those big, sturdy ambassador cars that everybody used to have in India. And I was in the middle seat. Our senior sister, Dadi Gulzar, was in the back there with me, and the sister accompanying her, her assistant, was on the other side of me. I was in the back, and the driver, it was an outside vehicle and a paid driver, so the driver was there, and then one of the brothers from the organization accompanying us. And around just before 6 o'clock, I'm totally alert, totally awake, and I'm looking into the distance, and we're passing through a village. That village has now become quite an international place. It's now Gurgaon with all the big, big skyscrapers and so on. But at that time, it was a sleepy little village. And so going through the village, I could see there was just that one main road we were going through, and everything was very calm, very quiet. And I see this old man who's dithering. You can see from his form, the light wasn't clear light. It was just dawn. And this old man is dithering. He doesn't know whether he should cross the road or he should wait. And the car's not going very fast. The road is not so brilliant. So as we're going, he's still dithering, and the car's going not very fast, quite slowly. But then there's an impact. And having had that first impact, then the car goes this way, and it hits one of those auto rickshaws, the 3-wheelers, and that then rebounds and it hits a tree on the other side, and we come to a standstill. And we get out of the car. The senior sister with us has hurt her head against the forehead of the bench of the front. It's like a bench, and there are people looking after her. And I suddenly realized that the village has become very noisy. There's a lot of people around, and I look around and I see that I don't find the driver, and I ask, where's the driver? And the others are all occupied with the senior sister. And so I make my way around the car, and I see that on the other side, there's a whole bunch of men, and they're shouting. It's a very bad noise that's coming. And you know that it's not healthy. There's something going wrong. And my instinct told me that probably in the middle of that crowd would be the driver. And I think I was about 25 at the time. And I moved out, and I came to the gathering, and somehow seeing a young woman, seeing a white sari, they parted and let me go through the crowd. And sure enough, in the middle of the crowd was the driver. And I just stand in front of him, and I don't know very much Hindi at that time, but whatever it is, I can say, I say to them, stop, stop. And somehow everybody just stops. Maybe it was just such a surprise for them, or maybe it was the power of peace, maybe it was the one above, but whoever, whatever, they just freeze. And everything becomes very, very quiet. And I say to them, wait, the police are coming. Now, I had no idea if somebody had been able to telephone the police or if the police were still coming. I didn't know, but just buying time, I thought, let me just keep them calm. And so the power of peace was radiating through the whole gathering. And in that calm, thankfully, the police did arrive because they'd already started beating the driver, and probably he would have died if they'd carried on. It was that sort of anger and violence. The police took away the driver, and we then had to go and make a report and this and that, but we then went on our way to Delhi. But the incredible thing was that everybody had become calm and quiet at the moment that was critical, that was crucial. And then, of course, once the police came, the crowd also dispersed. But from the sleepy village, it had become a battlefield. And from the battlefield, it again became a calm little village. So I know that if I develop that inner state of peace, it not only saves me from a huge amount of stress, but it's also highly effective in being able to calm down a mob that is angry and frustrated and really is out for violence. Fear does strange things to people. And the level of reason and logic, they would say, yes, of course, you have to wait for the police to come, or you have to wait for whoever is in the military to take charge. But when there's fear, you don't think like that. You just think, I don't want to be a victim, and this person is responsible. I want to get his life. And so it's not a healthy situation at all. Fear is one of the most unhealthy emotions that a person can have. I don't mean not being aware of risk. That's completely different to fear. When I understand what are the risks involved, that's reasonable, that's logic. And if I prepare myself to deal with those risks, that's sensible. But where there's just fear and anger, I'm blinded. And I just react with force, with aggression. You see, all of us carry peace within ourselves, but all of us carry anger and stress within ourselves too. And starting my day, I know you have a very early start usually, but give yourself a little bit of space, a little bit of time before duty calls. And in that little space of time, talk to your mind. When was the last time that you talked to your mind with love? Remember the story of the horse? Every day, speak to this wild horse, my mind, and remind the mind that your original state of being is of peace. Your natural state of being is peace. And let yourself feel that. You're training yourself to come back to that original natural state in which you are able to be calm. Stress also does strange things to human logic, because stress is one of the things that causes the fear hormone to be released. And so can I make sure that before the fear comes, before the stress reactivity begins, I'm prepared. My morning preparation is the most important discipline that's going to help me out there on the field. Without that, reactivity takes over. Ask yourself the question, when you react, is that usually the right judgment or is it very often the wrong judgment? Yes, we've been told and trained to react quickly, but it also has to be guided by my conscience and my reason. Otherwise, I can't just say, well, I was given the orders to do this, or I misunderstood what was expected of me. There's no margin for error in all of this, in the work that you do. And so the morning preparation to bring the mind back into a state of awareness, which is calm, and for you to experience that powerful connection with the source, the divine, the same image, the being of light, nothing else. But the practice of this every day is strengthening the muscle of the mind. How did you get to this condition of being fit and being able to be in the peacekeepers? You practiced, you ran, you exercised, you toned up your muscles so that you were ready for action. When was the last time we toned up the muscle of our mind? We didn't. Nobody told us to or how to. And so today, this lesson about preparing myself so that stress doesn't take over by default. Something happens and immediately the adrenaline rushes. But no, I can choose what to do. Do you know when the word stress started to be used for the human mind? It was never used in that way before. But immediately after the Second World War, there was a lot of research going on in why things had happened the way they had, why things had swirled out of control, and things were so difficult and dangerous, of course. And they realized that just as a piece of metal, if it's exposed to stress, whatever is the pressure that comes on that piece of metal, there'll be a certain limit it can be exposed to. Apply more stress, more pressure to that little piece of steel, and it's going to either move into a state from which it cannot operate, it's dysfunctional, or it'll actually break. And so you have to know what is the stress factor that the steel is capable of taking. And if you want to take it further, you have to find a way of enhancing its capacity so that it can deal with whatever is coming up. Same thing. We can't change the situations outside. Either they're going to impact us in a negative way, and my response is a negative, which is dangerous, or I have to find a way to enhance my own inner capacity so that I'm creating the state of inner power in which I'm able to withstand the factors of stress that are coming to me, and I don't allow that stress to make me reach beyond my capacity or breaking point. Every time I react, that's a break. Why? Because my position has to be one in which I'm clear, I'm stable, I'm immovable. Nobody and nothing should be able to shake me from that position of stability. Otherwise, they are controlling me, and I become a puppet of circumstances. Now, that's not what peacekeeping is about. Peacekeepers are the ones who are powerful, who have to create a state of peace out there, which means influencing everybody around with you in that situation so that they maintain a state of calm and things don't turn into a riot and get out of hand. So I need to enhance my own inner capacity. And strengthening the muscles of the mind by meditation in the very simple way that we practiced earlier means that every time, 3 minutes, 1 minute even, a few minutes. Every time I practice going inside, inwards, upwards, and then coming out, I can deal with things with a greater capacity, with a greater understanding also. And so meditation's useful for everyone, but especially useful for all of you. I've been emphasizing this idea of stability. Why? Because when my mind is disciplined and in control of that inner being, the soul, Atma, then yes, I have that capacity to deal with everything. When I lose that, when I've forgotten that I am the master of my thoughts and feelings, when I've lost that, then circumstances control me. And I never ever want that to happen, because then I'm in danger. Everyone else around me is in danger also. And how's that going to help my family? So I need to have inner strength so that I have developed that capacity to withstand the pressures from outside, so that I don't become stressed or react with stress. So one aspect is stability. The other aspect is clarity. It becomes more and more difficult to know where the enemy is coming from, how it's going to attack. We have no idea, because there's so much equipment today that's not visible. It's somebody controlling things from far away, maybe. And also the equipment that the other is carrying. We have no idea how advanced that is. And so it just means I need to keep my mind very clear at that moment, so that on an intuitive level, I know what is dangerous and what is just cosmetic, what is a show being put on. Not easy, but if I have clarity in my mind, and clarity means monitoring what's going on in my mind. If there's just simply a torrent of thoughts moving from here to there or from there to here, I don't perceive the reality of the situation. And so my judgment is lacking. But if I can keep myself calm and also remove negative thinking, if I'm in a situation of negativity, of anger or ego, that's not the energy with which I'm going to be able to maintain peace. If my effort has been to maintain stability and clarity, then I understand the situation. There isn't a dust storm in front of my eyes, but internally I'm able to pick up what's going on from all the signals that I see, all the body language that I see, and I'm able then to make a more clear and precise judgment, come to a decision which is more likely to be a benevolent one that's going to keep the peace, rather than a malevolent one, which is driven by anger or ego. And so staying calm is absolutely vital for all of you. It's not a luxury. It's a method for your survival. And also it's a method that will help others survive also. Because otherwise reactivity means I react, there's a backlash, and my reactions and the reactions of others with me become stronger and stronger. We want to have peace in the world. We need to begin with peace within ourselves. And so I know that these two little things that I've shared with you today, more explanation of all of this will be given, I'm sure. But these two things, how quickly can I go inward and just come back to the awareness that I am this inner being of light, the shining star that's here. Let yourself feel that energy and feel that peace. It can happen with one thought if you practice this. If I haven't practiced it, then my mind is going to be going wild. But if I've practiced, then in a situation, one thought, and I can come back here, even if a moment ago I was thinking of other things. But if I practiced, in that moment, I won't let the other things stay. I'll say, stay away for just a little while. I'll come back and I'll deal with you later. But now, for this moment, I just need to focus on this inner being and the power and the peace inside. And now, when it's time to have a little bit of space, especially in the early morning, connecting upwards. But again, that practice of connecting upwards will help you on the field, because you're able to draw from that inexhaustible source of power, from the Almighty Authority, all the power that you need to be able to do your work. And later on also, of course, to help you with your relationships. But at this moment now, inwards and upwards. And with that strength, come back to do what you need to do outwards. So this practice every day and through the day also is truly, truly enabling each one not just to have stability and peace, but also to develop our own capacity for understanding. And once I understand, my tolerance capacity is raised. Once I can have that inner state of peace and tolerance, then I can look at the situation 360 degrees instead of a barrier between me and them. No, I need to understand everything properly. And I need to be able to understand it from the different perspectives that come to me. Spiritual perspective, logical perspective, both are needed absolutely, not just one, but both together. And so my suggestion is that we now have a few minutes in which we experiment with this idea again, so that it becomes easier and easier for you to be able to manage this wild horse, the mind, but also to allow your own inner powers to develop more and more. All of these qualities that are in the Creator are also within us. Every single one of us has that capacity. We start our journey with goodness, not a mixture of good and evil, but we start with goodness. And so when we are in touch with ourselves, we are in touch with that inner power and goodness. When we lose touch with ourselves, then we lose track of that and we're not able to manage. And so sitting quietly, reflecting on the things that you've been hearing, keeping my vision focused on that point of light that I see in front of me, I let myself relax and focus on the inner being, the being of light that I am. My thoughts are much slower. I can choose the thought of peace. I hold peace in my mind. And in this awareness of peace, I can feel the presence of the divine, the being of light, the source of all positive attributes. and from the ocean, peace reaches me, and I'm surrounded by peace. I absorb peace within myself. And it activates the peace that is within, and that emerges. And peace radiates out. The peace from above reaches not only me, but it reaches all people. The human family is exposed to this. I hold peace in my mind. And peace becomes a power. An active force for good. And peace surrounds our planet. And we move into a new era. I come back to the awareness of the present moment and the place now. But I resolve to hold this awareness of peace within myself. Thank you for joining this experiment. Just remember 3 words: inwards, upwards, and outwards. Thank you for your attention. And now if there are questions or comments, perhaps we can take those up.
So if there are any questions, you can raise your hand and read out the questions also from there. Okay.
Maybe this experience of peace has made all of you become silent. I'm not sure.
So they can unmute themselves and they can speak out also.
Yeah, go ahead. Bhupinder Singh. He's raised his hand. You can go ahead.
Om Shanti. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Good morning, ma'am. It has been a complete honor and a privilege to have you with us. आपको सुन के एक अलग ही शीतलता और शालीनता का अनुभव हमें हो रहा है. I am actually feeling privileged to hear you. Your poise, calm, composure itself is so infectious. A lot of people relate infection with negative energy, but seeing you, I think your positive energy is actually infectious. आपको सुन के, since most of us, almost 80% of us are Indians attending your session, ma'am. So I would take this liberty of using Hindi because a lot of our men understand that language much better. I personally feel with the simplicity that you've communicated your thoughts is amazing, ma'am. But that can only come if somebody has clarity. तो आपकी क्लैरिटी और आपका बताने का तरीका इतना सरल और इतना आसान है जो कि हम सब अपनी आने वाली जिंदगी में कर सकते हैं। ये सुनने के बाद मेरे को एक शेर याद आता है, आपकी परमिशन से मैं उसको कहना चाहूंगा।
Sure.
आप जैसा कोई मिला ही नहीं, आप जैसा कोई मिला ही नहीं, मिलता कैसे कोई था ही नहीं।
तो मैं कहेंगी कि ये जो अभी आप अनुभव बता रहे हैं, आपने ठीक कहा, हर व्यक्ति ये अनुभव कर सकता और अपने जीवन में वो ला सकता। क्योंकि हर आत्मा के अंदर वो आदि संस्कार है शांति का। मैंने सोचा कि इंटरनेशनल ग्रुप है तो मुझे अंग्रेजी में ही बोलना चाहिए, परंतु आपने जैसे बताया कि मेजॉरिटी सारे भारत के हैं, तो मैं थोड़े ये शब्द ही कहेंगे हिंदी में कि हर आत्मा का स्वधर्म है शांति। तो शांति जबकि हमारा आदि धर्म है, तो क्यों ना हम उसका अनुभव करें। और जितना आप इस छोटी सी बात का अनुभव करते रहेंगे कि मैं हूं ये बिंदु आत्मा ज्योति स्वरूप, तो जितना आप उसका प्रैक्टिस करेंगे वो आपका फिर से जैसे ओरिजिनल स्वभाव था वो फिर से प्रकट होगा। जी।
That was it, ma'am. And I will wait for others to ask a question. Otherwise, I would like to offer my vote of thanks at the last. Thank you so much, ma'am. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Good morning, Om Shanti. Good morning, ma'am. I have a question. Ma'am, how do you balance the different facets of life? You have your personal life, your professional life, your inner self. There are so many things happening around you all the time. How do you control what lets affect you, and how do you maintain that balance in your life? Can you please talk about that?
Rather than use the word balance, I would use the word priority. So what is it that I'm prioritizing? And so the topmost priority has to be me. And that's not ego or selfishness, but it's just common sense. If I'm not okay, of what use am I to my family? Of what use am I to others around me at work? Nothing's going to go right. But if I'm okay, then I can make things become right. And so first is making time for myself to be able to nourish the inner being, the soul, and fill myself with the capacity that I need by the connection with the divine. The second is relationships, and it's all types of relationships that are valuable and important. Yes, my family is very important, but what I need to do is to give them proper time when I am able to give them time. But now at this moment, my relationships with my colleagues and my superiors at work and the juniors at work, all of that is very important equally. If I haven't invested in relationships, then there's not going to be any trust. There's not going to be any support or cooperation. But if I've given attention to creating good relationships, then I'm going to be able to benefit myself, but also them. But more than that, when it comes to actually doing the work that we are meant to be doing together as a team, then those relationships will enable us to work together in a unified way with total faith and trust. If I haven't invested in relationships, then how can there be trust in the work that we do? And so most people put priority as the work. But without the foundation of relationships in the self, the work goes haywire. It goes a little bit pear-shaped. And so the self, then the next step is relationships, and the next step then, in a very natural and automatic way, there's cooperation and collaboration, and the results that we would like to achieve can be possible. So when we don't understand priorities, then we muddle it up, and then you're left with a bowl of spaghetti and you wonder how to sort it out. But no, me, spiritual knowledge, teachings to feed my mind good things every morning, and then time for silence. And the silence means that I connect with the divine and my own inner energy is being channeled in the right way. Then relationships. And relationships are going to work better if I am prepared. Otherwise, in relationships, the thing that goes most easily, very quickly, is tolerance. I don't have the capacity to listen to others. I'm not able to respond to them in the right way. And so the relationship becomes a little bit problematic. And then, of course, the work definitely will suffer. And so even at home, yes, with the family, my tolerance capacity, can I listen? Can I acknowledge that, yes, there's value in what they say? And if I can recognize that value and treat them with respect, then things can get sorted out and put right. And then the third, the work will automatically then move in the right way, because everything is a team. It's not a situation in which one man can do things that he wants just because he wants to. The work is only possible in a team. And without the team, I won't be able to accomplish very much. But the relationships then define the quality of the way in which we're functioning. And the product then, the outcome result, is going to be excellent.
Thank you.
In case there are no more questions by the participants, then can I show the introductory video of the security services wing? I'm ready with that.
Yes, sir,
Just
please kindly go ahead, sir.
just before that, I just want to thank the people who were involved in making this happen. And so, yes, of course, my dear brother Gomande, but also all the others in South Sudan who supported the idea and actually implemented it, and all those who participated. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, Didi. Didi, it was the force commander, Lieutenant General Mohan. It was his insistence that we had this wonderful program. And I would now, Didi, play the SSW introductory video in case there are no other questions from the participants. Colonel Dohan, can I play the video?
Sir, may I thank Didi first, and then can we have the video so that in case Didi has some important engagement, she can leave?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Didi. It has been, as I just said, it was an ultimate honor to listen to you. And if I have to sum up this entire conversation today, then I would say, खाली बर्तन बजने लगे थे, खाली बर्तन बजने लगे थे, आपने आकर उनमें मट्टी भर दी. You actually filled our souls with so much of knowledge, and which only probably will make us more humble, more knowledgeable, and thereafter we are sure we will not react but respond, because now we are empowered, and so we will not be reacting hereafter, And we will keep telling ourselves that I am not going to react. We will only respond hereafter. And I would also like to thank Vice Admiral Gormade, sir. Sir, we've been following you since our younger days. I have put in around 25 years of service, and we've heard you a couple of times in our various colleges and a lot of places. So we are also thankful to you for joining us. And since you've always been our role model, thank you for connecting with us. Thank you so much. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Didi. Om Shanti.
Thank you, Didi. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks to you also.
So now I'll share this SSW introduction video.
कर्नल प्रतीक भाई, आपको प्रेजेंटर बनाना पड़ेगा। कर्नल विकास को ही हम सब दिखा पाएंगे। प्रेजेंटर नहीं, अटेंडीज हैं हमके।
The security forces
Can you
contribute
see it?
significantly to the security,
Deepak bhai?
prosperity,
भाई अभी आप
and
शेयर नहीं कर पा रहे ना,
development
अभी
of
नहीं।
any country,
अच्छा, okay,
whether
fine.
it is internal security or
Then I'll
external
request
security.
मुझे
In the
presenter
past
बनाएं
3 to 4
Colonel
decades,
Bhupender.
rapid modernization and technology have in every aspect of society and life.
Sorry, you need to share the video with us, sir. There's an option of sharing on the top, sir, if you can see it.
अच्छा,
जस्ट केवल अगर प्रेजेंटर बना देंगे तो वो कर सकेंगे। राइट,
Colonel Prateek, can you make me presenter?
Just a second. Sir, if you can see the share button on top, sir, next to the.
So you can try now, sir.
If you can see that button.
How can I do it? Okay. Huh?
No.
Chalo, again, I'll try.
So you just share your screen. We'll come to know whether video is visible or not. Just share so we can see that.
Now we can.
अभी दिख रहा है भाई जी?
Yes, sir. Now
Correct,
we
sir.
can.
Correct, sir.
Same,
Yes, sir.
same.
Now you can share.
Yeah.
The security forces contribute significantly to the security, prosperity, and development of any country, whether it is internal security or external security. In the past 3 to 4 decades, rapid modernization and technology have influenced every aspect of society and life, posing multiple challenges to security personnel. In addition to these challenges, there are various
माइक बंद कर दीजिए, फिर अच्छा आवाज आएगा।
declining
ना,
values, increasing natural disasters and crime, families, media pressure, uncertainty in life, and so on. Continuous training is essential to overcome these challenges and achieve victory with self.
विकास भाई जी, आपने जब शेयर किया है तो साउंड शेयर नहीं किया है। अब जो आवाज आ रही है वो आपके माइक से आ रही है। आपको जब करना है ना शेयरिंग, साउंड भी करना पड़ेगा उसको। दोबारा से शेयर कीजिए।
Maybe you can restart.
रीस्टार्ट या विकास भाई मैं एक बार शेयर करूं इधर से? विकास भाई मैं करूं इधर से शेयर?
हाँ दीपक भाई आप कीजिए प्लीज।
The security forces contribute significantly to the security, prosperity, and development of any country, whether it is internal security or external security. In the past 3 to 4 decades, rapid modernization and technology have influenced every aspect of society and life, posing multiple challenges to security personnel. In addition to these challenges, there are various other challenges in society, such as declining values, increasing natural disasters and crimes, disintegrating families, media pressure,
दीपक भाई कुछ आई थिंक स्क्रीन में स्टिल है, वी कैन हियर द वॉइस बट नॉट द वीडियो।
It stopped.
We can share video tomorrow. Let's Godmare sir, share some experience and the last service. Godmare sir can speak out. Maybe some technical issue here.
जी, टाइम कितना है आपके पास? भूपेंद्र सिंह, कर्नल भूपेंद्र सिंह दुआन।
Sir, time is not an issue, sir. Please go ahead, sir. We are there with you. We have minimum 20 more minutes, sir.
Okay.
15 to 20 minutes we have.
So, Deepak bhai, are you doing that? Deepak, are you sharing the video और क्या कर रहे हो अभी? कोशिश कर रहे हो? क्या कर रहे हैं?
जी मैं लास्ट टाइम बस शेयर करता हूँ, होता है तो ठीक है, फिर 1 मिनट फिर आप करिएगा।
I think
लेट था तो उसे पकड़ता हूँ.
I think sir, you can take. It is taking little time. Some technical issues.
ओके. ओम शांति. मैं ये एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है जब आप लोगों से बात करने का मौका मिल रहा है, और स्पेशली हमको आप सब पे बहुत बहुत गर्व है कि आप भारत का तिरंगा एक यूएन फोर्स में बहुत ही शानदार तरीके से और बहुत ही निष्ठावान और अच्छा कार्य करके हमारा भारत का कार्य कर रहे हैं और विश्व में शांति के लिए कार्य कर रहे हैं. और जिस तरह जयंती दीदी ने बताया कि अगर हम विश्व शांति के लिए काम कर रहे हैं और आप लोग कर रहे हो विश्व शांति के लिए काम, तो उसमें सबसे महत्वपूर्ण बात है कि अपने स्वतः की शांति हो. और इसीलिए आपको ये एक बहुत ही अच्छा मैसेज दिया कि डू नॉट रिएक्ट बट रिस्पॉन्ड. एंड आई थिंक कर्नल दुहान ने बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से इसको संक्षिप्त तरह से बताया. तो मैं ये कहना चाहूँगा कि हमारी दिनचर्या में आर्म फोर्सेस के जो भी कार्य हमें दिया जाता है, उसको कार्य करने में हमारी ट्रेनिंग होती है, और वो ट्रेनिंग हमें इस तरह से तैयार करती है कि हम सही समय पे सही निर्णय ले सकें. और उसमें हम एक्सटर्नल सिक्योरिटी का पे ध्यान रखते हैं, क्योंकि हम देखते हैं कि दुश्मन बाहर का दुश्मन है और उस पर हमें किस तरह से जीत प्राप्त करनी है, और उस पर हम ट्रेनिंग के दौरान अच्छी तरह से किस तरह अपना वेपन चलाना, किस तरह से हमें कंट्रोल करना है, वो सब हम ट्रेनिंग से सीख जाते हैं और वो हम कर भी लेते हैं अच्छी तरह से. लेकिन सबसे इससे ज़्यादा महत्वपूर्ण और है कि हम अंदर के जो विकार हैं उनको ध्यान में रखते हुए उन पर कैसे विजय प्राप्त कर सकते हैं. और इसलिए ये बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि हम जब कोई भी परिस्थिति हमारे सामने आए वहाँ पर हम अपने स्वस्थिति बहुत अच्छी तरह से संतुलन बनाए रखें, जिससे कि हम सही निर्णय ले सकें. तो मैं आपको एक एक्सपीरियंस बताऊंगा, छोटा सा एक्सपीरियंस. मैं था 2022 में वाइस चीफ ऑफ नेवल स्टाफ, और फरवरी 2022 में हम गए थे रशिया. और रशिया में हम किस लिए गए थे कि एक नई शिप लॉन्च करनी थी रशिया से, और वहाँ पर जो भारत का एक स्टेल्थ शिप जो है तमाल उसका नाम, उसका नामकरण और उसकी लॉन्चिंग करनी थी. तो वो हर एक समय पे एक नया शिप जब लॉन्च होता है वो इट इज लॉन्च्ड बाय अ लेडी. ये एक ट्रेडिशन है. तो उसमें मेरी युगल, दैट इज माय वाइफ, she was the one who was to launch the ship, and I was the chief guest of the function. और ये था 24 फरवरी 2022 को ये फंक्शन था. हम उधर 23 को पहुंच चुके थे, और 23-24 को ये लॉन्चिंग सेरेमनी और नेमिंग सेरेमनी भी थी. तो सुबह सुबह 8 बजे 24 तारीख को आप सबको पता है कि रशिया ने यूक्रेन पे अटैक किया और युद्ध शुरू हो गया. और हम उसी दिन थे, और उसी दिन 12 बजे ये कार्यक्रम था. तो हम सब ने तो तैयारी कर रखी थी, तो हम गए उस फंक्शन के लिए. वो 10 बजे पहुंच गए. उधर युद्ध शुरू हो चुका था और तरह तरह के न्यूज़ ऑलरेडी सभी चैनल्स में आ रहे थे. और उस समय मुझे 11:30 बजे फिर एम्बेसडर का फ़ोन आया, और उन्होंने मुझे बताया कि ये अभी आपको ये सेरेमनी कैंसिल करनी पड़ेगी. और कैंसिल करनी पड़ेगी क्योंकि युद्ध शुरू हो गया है, और इस समय हम भारत को इस तरह से नहीं दिखा सकते जैसे कि हम कहीं सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, और पूरे विश्व में सभी इस युद्ध को दे हैड ऑलरेडी क्रिटिसाइजिंग. तो उस समय मुझे ये निर्णय लेना था कि क्या करना है. एक पूरी तैयारी हो चुकी थी, और हमारा जो निर्णय लेना था वो राष्ट्रहित में लेना था, और यही भी था कि सही निर्णय भी लेना था कि ये कैसे सेरेमनी के लिए सारी तैयारी हो चुकी थी. पूरा डॉकयार्ड वर्कर्स थे, हमारी हमारी तरफ से जो लोग आए थे, सारा कुछ तैयार था। और ये हमारा एक माइलस्टोन था, क्योंकि ये हमारी एक कैपेबिलिटी है, एक नया शिप हमारे नौसेना में शामिल होगा। अगर ये हम माइलस्टोन नहीं पार करेंगे, जिसमें वो लॉन्चिंग नहीं होगी शिप की, और आगे उसका पेमेंट नहीं होगा, उसका नामकरण नहीं होगा, तो आगे जाके उसकी आउटफिटिंग नहीं होगी, और ये शिप हमें कब मिलेगा पता नहीं, ये था। तो फिर कुछ सोच के मैंने उस समय परम पिता परमात्मा को याद किया कि अभी मुझे सही निर्णय देने की शक्ति दो। और उसमें मुझे आया कि नहीं, इस समय हमें सही जाके ये लॉन्च करना चाहिए। और मैंने जो अपना निर्णय लिया कि बस हम ये सेरेमनी को आगे बढ़ाएंगे, और हमने उन लोगों को बुलाया और बताया रशियंस को कि ऐसा है कि ये शिप लॉन्च कर देते हैं, और इस समय हमें सही निर्णय ये होगा, क्योंकि ये सेरेमनी है, ये तो काफी दिन से बन ही रहा था जहाज, तो इसमें ये और ये नहीं होगा। सिर्फ प्रेस को बोला कि ये रिपोर्ट नहीं किया जाएगा। और फिर 12 बजे हमने वो शिप लॉन्च कर दिया, और वो आगे बढ़ के वो सेरेमनी हो गई। कहीं कुछ उसका कोई और प्रतिक्रिया नहीं हुई। और अभी 3 साल हो गए, वो युद्ध अभी भी जारी है। अगर हमने वो निर्णय नहीं लिया होता तो शायद वो शिप वहीं अटका रहता, और अभी वो शिप तैयार होके अभी कमिश्निंग होने वाला है इस साल। तो ऐसे समय पे किस तरह हमें परमात्मा मदद करता है बड़े बड़े निर्णय। और इसी तरह मैं आपको ये भी कहूँगा कि जब आपको कोई एक्शन के लिए आएंगे, कोई when you're doing peacekeeping forces, there are likelihood of ambushes happening from various places, और आपकी पार्टी कहीं जा रही है, तो उस समय अपना संतुलन बनाना बहुत ही जरूरी है, अलर्टनेस बहुत जरूरी है। और वो अलर्टनेस के लिए ये जो ध्यान और ये ज्ञान है बहुत ही मदद करता है। और ये हमने कई जगह पे देखा है, जब हमारी फोर्सेस, हमारे मेरीन कमांडोज भी डिप्लॉय हुए हैं आगे वुलर लेक में, और आगे जाके वहां पर भी उनको जब हम इस ध्यान के बारे में बताते हैं, तो वो सही समय पे सही एक्शन ले सकते हैं, क्योंकि ये बहुत मदद करता है आपको ये देने के लिए। हमने अरबी सागर और बे ऑफ बंगाल में भी जो चीनी जहाज आते हैं, उनको किस तरह से इस इन सब चीजों में सही निर्णय लेके अपने एक्सक्लूसिव इकोनॉमिक जोन से बाहर निकाल के उस स्थिति को काबू में लाया। ये भी है सिचुएशन जब ऐसी आती है, तो ऐसे से हमारे पास काफी ऐसे निर्णय लेने के बहुत ही ये अनुभव आए हैं। तो मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा आप लोगों को कि इस जो ये ध्यान है, इसको आप बहुत ही सहज है और सरल है। इसको आप एक बार सीख लोगे तो आपको पता चल जाएगा कि कितना आसान है अपने आप पर नियंत्रण काबू करना। पर लेकिन इसमें हमें ये चाहिए कि प्रैक्टिस चाहिए, और प्रैक्टिस करोगे इसके लिए सुबह की अमृत वेला बहुत अच्छी होती है, जिस समय एकदम शांत तरीके से आप परम पिता परमात्मा को याद कर लेते हो और सारी शक्तियां अपने में भर लो, और आपका पूरा दिन सही में चले जाएगा। और साथ में एक पॉज ले लो, जैसे भी कोई एक्शन के लिए जा रहे हो तो just take a little pause of 30 seconds, 1 minute before you go on action and tell yourself that everything is all right, सब बहुत अच्छा होगा। हम लोग वैसे भी भगवान को याद करके, या अपना जो रेजिमेंटल नारा होता है, जो एक लगा के तो जाते ही हैं, उसमें ये कि हमें शक्ति मिलती है। उसमें हम अपने आप को अंदर से भी अगर ध्यान में रखेंगे तो आपको कामयाबी जरूर मिलेगी, विजय और सफलता आपके साथ हमेशा रहेगा। है? ये आप साथ रखो कि जब ध्यान रखोगे तो ये जरूर रहेगा। धन्यवाद। और अगर किसी को कोई प्रश्न है तो पूछ सकते हैं।
Thank you so much, sir. I think there are no questions, and if there are any, we shall mail it to them if we get some. Thank you so very much, sir. I again, on behalf of General Mohan Subramaniam, again thank you for sparing your time and enlightening all of us. Om Shanti.
Thank you. Om Shanti.
हम सभी कल पुनः मिलेंगे और सुबह 0600 hours. Colonel Bhupender, is that right?
Yes, sir. We meet at 6 o'clock.
हाँ जी.
So you can stop with a Baba ka geet.
Yes. Can we do a little bit of meditation with a song?
Yes, sir, we can. Sir, my only one small humble submission is, since 80% of our Indians attending this, so a mix of Hindi and English, and not that classic Hindi, sir, which Didi was speaking, वो थोड़ा हमें भी समझने में मुश्किल हो रहा था. It is that normal communication वाला Hindi. To an extent, I would like to tell all my viewers, जैसे कि हम अपनी प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में ध्यान दे रहे हैं, उसी तरह हमें अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ में भी और जो हमारे हैं उनके साथ एक बात का जरूर ध्यान रखना चाहिए. एंड आई वुड अगेन समराइज विद सिंपल वन लाइनर. तुम्हें रिश्ता बचाना चाहिए था, तुम्हें रिश्ता बचाना चाहिए था, बहस में अक्सर हार जाना चाहिए था. सो विद आवर ओन पीपल वी नीड टू बी मोर acceptable to them, and I think that is the essence of entire life. So sir, only that is my request, and we shall go ahead with your meditation exercise or whatever you are recommending.
Please, thank you so much. In fact, today in the morning I had sent this message to Colonel Pratik. How many people would be there who would understand Hindi in totality and otherwise. So that time, actually, it was very short time to give me that statistics. But tomorrow, we'll definitely inform our Didi, Didi Santosh, who would be joining us. So there it will be a mix of Hindi and English, both, so that a better understanding of the entire session is there and we achieve what we want to. So with this, we'll complete today's this thing with a small meditation song, and where we'll all sit at our respective places in the remembrance of Almighty Father. भगवान को हम सभी जहाँ बैठे हैं याद करें. दीपक भाई, मैं रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा एक गीत शेयर करने के लिए.
सुनाई नहीं पड़ रहा. आवाज नहीं आ रही दीपक भाई.
ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है. आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, आती है आंधियाँ तो कर उनका खैर मकदम, तूफान से ही तो लड़ने खुदा ने तुझे गढ़ा है. ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है. के सोना है और भी निखरता, अग्नि में तप के सोना है और भी निखरता, दुर्गम को पार करके हिमालय कोई चढ़ाए, लाएगी रंग मेहनत आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, लाएगी रंग मेहनत आखिर तुम्हारी एक दिन, होगा विशाल तरवर वो बीज जो पड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है। शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, वो सर्व शक्तियों से जब साथ है हमारे, उसके रहते हरगिज़ हुआ पड़ा है, कभी हारना कदम बढ़ाओ, कभी हारना ना हिम्मत का कदम बढ़ाओ, हजारों कदम बढ़ाने वो सामने खड़ा है। ये मत कहो खुदा से मेरी मुश्किलें बड़ी हैं, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, ये मुश्किलों से कह दो मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है, मेरा खुदा बड़ा है।
Thank you all. Thank you so very much. Colonel Bhupinder, I think we can call it off today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
From everybody from Mount Abu and from everybody this side, we say goodbye and we meet in the morning tomorrow, 0600 hours.
Sure, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Deepak. Thank you, Brahmakumaris sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay.